We just got back from Kentucky. We're going to talk about what we found and what we didn't find.
There's a lot we didn't find. Well, beginning of our trip wasn't actually in Kentucky. It was in Indiana.
Oh, yeah. We did go to Indiana first.
So, Indiana, we were going out there for a Backbone pick. And before we went to Backbone, we stopped at a little liquor store. What was it called?
Shoot.
Ruffs, I think, something like that.
Ruff?
All right. Well, I had to look that up. It's Rural Inn.
Rural is
Rural Inn over kind of, what is this? Near East Side, kind of east side of Indianapolis. Tons of store picks in there.
Oh my gosh.
We got to try a Backbone pick before going over Backbone. But what they had there is what you have over there.
They had Disco 12.
Disco 12.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
So we picked up Disco 12 at the store.
Bardstown Discovery 12, if you didn't know what that means.
Very first stop of the trip, we scored one of these.
At retail.
So I was excited.
Or $5 below it.
Yep. So I was excited about that one. So,
that was an awesome store, honestly. And the guy that we talked to there, he said he'd been there for 40 years.
Yeah, something like that.
That was crazy.
Highly recommend stopping there at Rural Inn. And like I said, tons of picks there. I think he said he had like 50 of them or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
what it
50
was.
to 100. And
it wasn't 100 picks. It was like 50.
Well, I saw on Instagram
okay.
that they boast like a lot of picks, which they do. They have them.
Yep.
So
after that, we went over to Backbone, did our barrel pick. And so we picked an awesome barrel. So patrons, if you're not a patron, this is the shameless plug, join Patreon.
It is an awesome pick, though. It's so good. We'll have tasting notes and all that stuff on there.
Yep.
But what an experience we had. Nolan is such an awesome guy. The story behind Backbone, everything we got to learn while we were there. The pick experience itself, we got to take our patron, Robert, with us.
Yep.
And we had really a great time. We tried so many crazy expressions that they had.
Yeah, and we tried a bunch of different expressions, like you said, and then we were trying to narrow it down between a few different barrels. So
we
were
blinded a lot.
drilling in barrels, and then we ended up blinding some, and ended up with this 21% rye. So this MGP mash bill, their 21% rye mash bill.
Bourbon. It's bourbon.
10-year bourbon. It is damn delicious.
Look how dark this is.
Yeah, it is dark.
Like,
that's all we have of it. We want to savor this until it actually gets released.
It is so freaking good.
Floaties in there out of the barrel.
It's really, really good. I mean, that's all you can say about it. It's fantastic. It's going to be a hitter bottle for sure.
So if you're a Patreon member, this will be coming to you at some point. Hopefully in the near future.
The very near future. So check that out.
So yeah, after Backbone, we kind of went and had some lunch somewhere, and then we kind of went around. We what did we go to? Like Total Wine or something. Went to a couple other stores.
Yeah.
There's one store that I walked in, and the guy was like, "Oh, you from around here?" We're like, "No," and then he just kind of really weird. I don't remember which store it was, but it was weird.
He just like ignored us.
He was not nice.
He was not nice, but it's like. And this is just an opinion of mine, but I think if you have a liquor store and you have people coming in from out of town, I don't expect you to roll the red carpet out, but I also expect to be treated just like a regular store member, like someone who lives in town.
Yeah.
I know that there are conflicting ideas about that because it's like, oh, where you're going to my regular store and you're trying to buy up all my picks and I've built up a relationship and things like that, but I didn't even care about that. I don't need them to. I just want to see what they had, and I want to see what their store picks were, and I wanted them to talk to us about their store. But it was just
when he asked if we were locals and we said no, he didn't talk to us at all. So enough on that one. We're moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Then we went over to Blend Cigar Bar, kind of up North Indy. Had a cigar and some cocktails. Old fashioned there, freaking delicious.
Espresso martini, super good. I love espresso martini. It's a shameless thing. I love it, but it's so good.
And that basically ended our night in Indy with what we found in Indy.
Yeah.
So kind of went back to our Airbnb or our hotel, and then next morning got up early and drove to Kentucky.
Woo!
So now we're in Kentucky.
Now we can start the Kentucky part of the trip, which was more of a failed kind of
Yeah, it was kind of failed in places. Which, first place, was a failure. We ended up meeting one of our buddies at Wild Turkey at 9:30 in the morning. I think they open at 9. We were hoping to get one of those 70th...
8-year.
Yeah.
The 70th, Jimmy Russell.
Yeah, the 8-year 101 or whatever it is. And they sold them all. They had 23 in the morning.
We saw
people in line.
Yeah, we saw people walking out with bottles in the parking lot. So that's kind of like adding insult to injury. But also, the visitor center is so beautiful. So beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, they had some Voyage and some other stuff there, but nothing that piqued our interest. So walked away from Wild Turkey with nothing.
Except cool video.
Yeah. So then after that, we got a heads up that Beam had some, what was it, the Little Book Infinite and the Booker's Reserves. So we took an hour drive over to Beam and struck out there. Actually, no. We didn't get the Reserves and we didn't get Little Book. But what we did get was...
Baker's 13.
Baker's.
They had a lot of it sitting on the shelf, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, Baker's 13. We were going to buy the Baker's High Rye?
Yeah.
We might have to get that when we go back out here shortly for a different
like
festival.
About $70. We haven't, I really like high rye bourbons. That's definitely something that fits my taste profile more. So I'm really curious to see how it is. I just wasn't sure about pulling a trigger. $70 is kind of expensive.
Well, this was like $155 or something like that.
Which is even more expensive, but we've heard a lot of good things about it, so it was easier to buy.
Yep. So yeah, picked up Baker's there. Ran into a couple viewers and took some photos with people, and that was pretty cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, if you ever see us out and about, don't be afraid to just stop and talk to us, because that's the really coolest part about this.
Yes,
about doing this channel is building relationships with you guys.
Yep.
So if you see us, talk to us. We'll take a picture with you. If you want to sign an autograph, we can do that too. So.
Actually, I'm gonna go back to Indy because we missed something. I forgot. After our barrel pick,
oh yes,
our patron that was with us gave us this. Back to Little Book.
Our very first Little Book.
He said he had thought he bought the box said Chapter 8, but the bottle in there was Chapter 7, and he already had one, so he gave us the Chapter 7. We haven't opened this one yet, but yeah, Little Book Chapter 7.
I'm definitely gonna crack it open because this would be the first Little Book I've ever had.
I've had one before, but this is the first one we've owned.
We've never owned one. Yeah, so thank you to our patrons.
Yes. So yeah. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Oh, before we get into the next thing on the list, if you guys have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, check out our Patreon, go find us on Instagram at The Real Average Drinker. We are always loading up the content on our Instagram now. Mm-hmm. Instagram, Patreon, TikTok. We do TikTok, but not really. Just occasionally. So anyway, now we're back to the real stuff.
So we left Beam and went over Four Roses. And so we had this to pick up.
Woo-hoo!
Four Roses LE. So we didn't have to wait in line for this, thankfully, because of the Four Roses Mellow Moments board member over here.
Well, yeah, I'm super grateful to them for this.
But we did have to buy it. They just held a bottle. We had to buy it. Everything here we bought. I guess except for the pick.
The sample. We didn't buy the sample.
So yeah, we got this, and yeah, that's about it at Four Roses. There really wasn't much there because it was the bottling center.
Right. We got a cute little glass, the Mellow Moments glass.
Yep, you got one. I probably could have got one being a Mellow Moments member, but I didn't.
So we got that. Paid retail for it, which was awesome. And
yeah, so after that, we drove back into Bardstown and parked a half a mile away from the Bourbon Festival and went to the Bourbon Festival.
Oh my gosh, there were so many people. It was amazing. This was our first time at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Tons of people. We met so many people that we see online that we don't ever get to really actually meet in person. We met so many people that actually watch the channel, which was awesome. We also tried to wait in a few lines.
Yes, we did. So what you didn't realize what Kentucky Bourbon Festival is a lot of people waiting in lines to get special release bottles.
We didn't know that.
Yeah, so when we get there, we see this line for Heaven Hill, and the line for Heaven Hill is deep.
It was huge. It had to be like 300 people.
It had to be something like that. So we didn't get in it. Like, I'm not waiting in this. Little did we know, we should have gotten the line, because we could have got the new Parker's release.
Parker's Heritage.
Yeah, which is the 14-year Kentucky malt whiskey finishing cognac, which I'm sad we didn't get a bottle. And
maybe someday.
In addition to that, they also had the Heaven Hill Heritage 18, which we already have a bottle of that, so we probably would not have bought that, but we would have bought Parker's for sure. And I had heard the day before and the day after they had the Old Fitz 13-year.
Yeah, if only we could have stayed, we would have gotten... The next day, we would have been getting in line early.
Yeah. So, lesson learned for next year.
Yeah, we did not know.
We didn't... Michter's had lines for 10-year bourbon, and I think 10-year rye. I'm not exactly sure what it was.
Toasted.
Was it toasted? I know they had pours of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was 10-year stuff they were selling.
Yeah.
What was it? We did get in line at Jim Beam.
Yeah.
The Jim Beam one was a heartbreaker.
Especially after missing out in the morning. We missed out twice yesterday.
Yeah, so Jim Beam, their little board thing said they had the Booker's Reserves and the Little Book Infinite. We get up there, 2 people before us, they sell out of the Little Book Reserves, or the Booker's Reserves, which is what we wanted. They had one infinite, I think, left on the shelf. We didn't take it. We left it for the people behind us because that's what they wanted, and we just didn't feel like spending $200 on it. But yeah, so we walked away from Beam again, striking out twice at Beam in one day.
It does happen. This is all about hunting. You know, you hunt and you find nothing sometimes. So
yeah, so then we went kind of talked to some people. We were talking with Ryan over at Bourbon Pursuit and Pursuit Spirits, and he was saying they sold out of all their double oak.
Yeah.
The double oak rye.
And a bourbon, they said.
Yeah, they had we got a sample of it though, so that was delicious.
It was super good. Now we got to try to get the bottles.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try to get those whenever they like have a few more released or whatever. We got to jump on it.
Yep. So, yeah, then we had some slushies at Barrel. We had a couple other pours of some other things, and it kind of really wrapped up the Bourbon Festival for us.
It was a good time. It really was. It was so hot. It was really, really hot.
Yeah, kind of walking around, talking to people, taking photos of people, and yeah, that was kind of about it.
You ended the day with some ice cream.
I did end the day with ice cream. So I got some, what is it, like bourbon pecan ice cream or something like that?
Ryan said, "Oh, that's a pro move, getting ice cream after the Bourbon Festival." I agree.
Yeah,
if only I could eat
delicious.
ice cream.
Yeah, then we went back up to Louisville, had some dinner, and then went back to our hotel and flew out the next morning.
Oh yeah, we did try some good pours at Justin's House of Bourbon.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one.
Before dinner, we went over there.
2XO sneaker.
Yeah, I like it. I just like the label too.
And the Pinhook 9-year.
Their pick that they had.
I thought it was a vertical series. I didn't know it was pick.
Yeah, it was a pick.
I thought it was a vertical series.
Nope, it was one of their picks, but I don't know what else we tried while we were there, but.
Yeah, so that was about it. So we got some bottles and struck out on a lot of bottles.
So that's how it goes, though. That's really how it goes. It actually is part of the fun, right? You try and you try and you try.
Part of the fun and frustration.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's all we got for you guys. Let us know in the comments some of your most frustrating days hunting bourbon.
Yeah.
If you've been out and you just keep striking out, or you miss out and you've been in line and you've been waiting all day and then you get up there and the person in front of you gets the last bottle.
We've had that happen to us multiple times.
Yep. Let us know that in the comments, and you guys have a wonderful day. I'm Dara.
I'm Bill.
We'll see you next time right back here on The Average Drinker.